Daddy, why'd they build all those pyramids? April 5, 2189 AD, Chapter 71. The dawn temperature on the West African plain was 60 degrees Fahrenheit. It would reach 75 that day with an accompanying light northeasterly breeze. It was a perfect day for an Easter Sunday. Large crowds massed about each pyramid's eastern face for the sunrise service. The space inside the city walls of New Jerusalem and New Eden, both extending over 100 miles out from the pyramid proper, were bustling with activity as the sun broke over the eastern horizon. Hymns began playing, and Lucifer, who was called the New Christ, took the podium with the New Eden hierarchy. The 1,000-piece orchestra began playing modern hymns, and soon the service was in full swing. Pope Frederick, now under the influence of drugs, was to conduct the New Eden Mass. Billy Graham, also under drug influence, was to give a short speech written for him by the new Christ. John the Baptist, also drugged, but no one was sure the drugs took effect as he remained as belligerent as ever. So he was left in his cell. The service began and was running along smoothly. McGrant, separated from his new love, had invited Jennifer over to the service, and to his surprise she had accepted the invitation. She appeared more stunning than he had remembered. Both had now aged into their 70s, as had everyone. There had been no births or deaths since the 2099 arrival of the New Jerusalem on the planet Earth, but Jennifer had retained her full, firm figure, and with the assistance of the amazing new makeups now available, her sweet face. They met at the prearranged coffee bar at 5 a.m., took 2 hours before the service, then just before the 7 o'clock service they took their seats. As McGrant was still working as an engineer for New Eden despite the communication difficulties of the New Eden construction, he obtained VIP seats. They were seated in the third row in the aisle. Can you believe this, McGrant? The Pope, the head of the entire Catholic world, will give the Mass, Jennifer said. I can't. It must be a sign, McGrant said, staring up at the pontiff. Of what? Jennifer said, smiling. The new Christ. Lucifer, he must be the real Christ after all, McGrant said. Have you met him? Yeah, a couple times. Nice guy, real laid back. Easy to talk to, like me, McGrant said. Shh, a voice from behind them said, but they ignored it and kept whispering. It seemed like the majority of the crowd was whispering or chatting about something. Not much solemnity, Jennifer thought, but did not say. Have you met the General Bells? Oh, yeah. As high strung as they'll ever meet, but always on point. I don't think he sleeps. As he spoke, he slid his hand onto Jennifer's thigh, and she took the wayward hand in hers and held it rather tightly. I don't think he sleeps either, Jennifer said, pointing to the huge stage set on the east face of the New Eden Pyramid. The Mass was nearing completion. The bells in a military uniform replete with swastikas seemed to be in a heated discussion with the new Christ, adorned in the black holy robes of the New Eden. Both were pointing to the east. Jennifer and McGrant turned around to look to the east, bumping heads as they did so. Neither could see anything as the sun shone bright in their eyes. They turned back, and each rubbed their heads. I'm so sorry, McGrant. No, it was my fault. A voice over the loudspeaker interrupted their confusion. Ladies and gentlemen, it was Bells. Thank you all for attending. Due to a situation, the post-Mass concert is canceled for today. I request you all return to the New Eden City proper at this time and enjoy the rest of your day. The concert will be given after Mass next Sunday. Watch the news channel for details. Have a blessed Easter, Bell said. He returned to the little group, which included the new Christ. Only one news channel in New Eden, McGrant said, but it seems fair and balanced for the most part. They both laughed and were still holding hands. Come to the concert next week? Sure. I'll call you with a time. My vibrator just went off. Jennifer looked at him with a curious grin. My pager, he said, unable to correct the paw. I've got to run. I'll call you. Do, she said, waving as he hurried off. Grant ran up to the podium and found Knapp decked out in his French uniform. Oh, good. Glad you're here. McGraw, is it? General Napoleon said. McGrant, sir. Yes, well, McCoy, we got a situation brewing. They're mobilizing. We'll have an emergency meeting here on stage in a few minutes. Stand by. Knapp pointed to the east and walked over to some other high-ranking personnel. Grant turned his gaze in the direction of the general. The sun was a little high now, so the glare was not so severe. He shaded his eyes and could see what appeared to be a long white line extending northeast from the New Jerusalem. As he focused better, he detected motion in the line. It must be some kind of procession. That's the army of New Jerusalem. It's headed northeast toward Mecca or Jerusalem, General Napoleon said, having returned. But, what? Grant was lost for words. It's up on screen now, just like the Crusades. White robes, red crosses on their chest, wooden staffs for weapons. And how can they... Don't underestimate him, McGrain. The Muslim horde did just that. I did in 1815, but I won't make the same mistake twice. We'll shadow 'em and destroy 'em and plow 'em under. The general pulled his hand from his coat and slammed his fist into his palm for effect. Then it'll all be over. We can evolve in peace into the perfect world, the perfect universe. Grant couldn't speak. He just stared at the long white line of the New Jerusalem Crusaders. It was obvious to him, if to no one else, that they were headed for Old Jerusalem.